Hey guys, it's Dustin. Today I want to talk about one of the most overlooked aspects of a career journey, and that is your comfort zone. And this hits in two different areas. So, one is getting out of your comfort zone when you're looking to move up in your career. And secondly, is when you actually have the interview. You may do hundreds, if not thousands, of interviews, but how often do you actually interview? How often are you on the other side of that desk? Today, that's what we're going to tackle. We're going to tackle the 7 steps to get you out of your comfort zone and make it feel more comfortable. So, I'm Dustin, certified career coach, help hundreds of people move up in their career, get their dream job, make more money. So, today I'm going to walk you through kind of this area that doesn't really get talked about a lot. So, stay with me to the end. I think you'll get a lot of value out of this. So, think about this real quick. What are the biggest wins in your life? All right. Was it when you send that call or that text or that message on social media where you may not know that person, or it might be to whoever your significant other is now? Whenever you landed that relationship, or when you moved up in your career, you may not have been sure or confident, or maybe even wanted to move up and take that next step, and somebody might have pushed you out of your comfort zone. But as you progress in your career, you have to get more and more comfortable with being outside of your comfort zone. And today we're going to walk through the 7 steps to help get you there, because this is a muscle. If you don't use it, it will become weak. So we're going to walk through the 7 steps to help get you to that next level. All right. So let's talk about in the job search. What does that look like? What does that feel like? So when you're interviewing somebody, you see it all the time. They're super nervous. Their livelihood. There's a lot of people depending on them to get this job, and you can sense that. So you know that the nerves are there for them. And when you have those nerves, you're really unable to be clear and concise with your message. So I've experienced this personally. It was one of the biggest things that held me back. Unable to get that clear and concise message across. And when you're unable to do that, you're not able to show up as your true, authentic self. They don't really get a good sense of who you are and what you can bring to the table. So, this being a key stumbling block for so many people, I wanted to talk about how to build your confidence to get you to where you need to be in that interview so you can nail it, get that promotion, make more money, and continue to move up in your career. So let's talk about how to build it. All right, so first you have to define your why. Why do you want this role? So ultimately, most people want to grow, they want to learn, they want to progress. It's the next step in their career. They may not be thinking about this next step. Like ultimately, you want to be thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead, but obviously you got to make that first step. So, what is your why? Like, why do you want this job? Why do you want this promotion? The easy answer is going to be, oh, well, more money, of course. But that's what comes along with it. That is what you bring. That is, ultimately, you deserve that. That is your value. So what I want to do is help you get to that next step. All right. Step 2, start small. So think about, you may be a really good interviewer or interviewee whenever you're getting interviewed. But think about where you're at, and you should be thinking about, okay, if you're a 7, how do you get to a 9 or a 10? If you're like me and you started out as a 2 or a 3, how do you get to a 7 or 8? So think about that incremental growth. It's not going to be an immediate, you're going to read these 7 steps, as we'll go through it. You're not going to be an immediate overnight sensation. It is going to take work. But if you follow these 7 steps, it'll get you there. All right, so reframe that fear with excitement. And one thing that always helped me out is research. So I research about the role. I research, hey, who's in that role? Maybe I can reach out to them and they can help answer questions for me and give me a better idea. Of course, the recruiter is going to do that as well. But yeah, so reframe that fear as excitement. And one thing that'll take away that fear is, like, the more you know, takes away the guesswork. All right, seek accountability. So very, very important. This is how I was able to take that first big step in my career after I was stuck for 9 years, is have an accountability partner. So obviously, me and my boss connected and figured out kind of what steps that I wanted to take. He helped me identify that. But then I sought after accountability. Accountability. I knew one of the best interviewers, somebody who was really strong at interviewing, and she would give me honest feedback. Like, she wouldn't sugarcoat it. She's, one of the big things that she kept giving me is like, hey, you're always talking about we. This is your interview. It's not theirs. So she gave me that accountability that I needed. So anytime that I'd have an interview, I would reach out to her and she would get me right. So now this next piece, so important. So you need to visualize success. Visualize in your mind that you are the person for this job and that you've already got the job. So visualize yourself in that role. What does that look like? Who do you need to be? What skills do you need to have? How are you going to show up your first day there? So visualize success, that you've already nailed this interview. Take action daily. So as I said earlier, this is a muscle that you may or may not use often, but everybody can practice up. So take action daily. Work on your delivery. Work on the confidence piece. And ultimately, the more that you prep, and I'm not talking about over prepping where you're planning out every word that you're saying, but you know your why. You know your wins. Like, what makes you a viable candidate for this? And if you watch some of my other videos, you should already have, your biggest wins highlighted in your career. Now it's all about just transferring those in this interaction. So I'll do another video on that, but that was the game changer for me. So also, whenever you're practicing daily, it may not be you're not going to go through the full interview. You may just think about, all right, I'm going to really work on my introduction. Hey, my name's blah, blah, blah. These are the roles that I've had. These are my key wins. So you get used to that cadence. So it just comes across more naturally in the interview. All right, so take action daily, so practice. And then last, I don't know if anybody ever watched the Last Dance with Michael Jordan, but it was really cool to see how he motivated himself. He was the best player in the world, and he had to play mind games to motivate himself. So whatever that looks like for you, like for me, I always pretended like in my mind that I should be the one interviewing them. That one, I already had the job, and two, that I was 1 or 2 levels above the person that was interviewing me. So that way it gave me the confidence that I needed. And that may not work for you. So it's just figuring out what works for you, but that is what always worked for me. All right. So just to go back through, define your why. Like, why do you want this role? All right. Start small, know where you're at and know where you need to get to. Reframe fear with excitement. Okay. Do your research, that helps. Have an accountability partner. So somebody that you trust that can help guide you and get you ready. Visualize success. Visualize that you've already got the role. Visualize, what that looks like when you actually show up. Visualize yourself in that role. What am I wearing on my first day? What kind of impact do I want to make? How am I showing up consistently? Work on it as you get closer to the interview. Work on this every single day because, like I said, this is a muscle that you don't use all the time. And it's different when you're the one that's getting interviewed. I promise you that. So take action every day to prepare, and then figure out what motivates you. Michael Jordan, I took that personal. Kyrie Irving, he actually followed Kobe, and before he hit the game-winning shot of Game 7 against the Warriors in 2016, he said, they asked him, what did you think about before you made that shot? He said, I just kept saying over and over in my head, Mamba mentality, Mamba mentality. If you don't know, Kobe was the ultimate competitor as well, very similar to MJ. So really cool, but whatever motivates you, like whatever gets you in the right frame of mind, figure that out and just do that over and over and over. Um, so yeah, so that's the 7 steps. So reflect where you're at, embrace, and then follow. If you follow these steps, this will build your confidence, and ultimately, that's what's going to get you the job. It's not what you say. I mean, that's literally like 7% of communication is what you verbally say, but it's more about how you say it, the confidence that you have. So follow these 7 steps. It'll build your confidence, and you'll be well on your way to moving up in your career. If you need help, reach out. Love to chat with you, connect with you. If you got any questions, concerns, comments, drop them in the comments, and see y'all soon.